Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to cover a couple of topics. We're going to cover the creation of the first sheet metal assignment, which is the paper tray. And we're also going to cover creating an IDW of a sheet metal part. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have a base size of our top view here of 12 by 9.5. So we're going to go back to our part, create a sketch on the top view. Always double checking that top reads correctly. 12 by 9.5, and our metal thickness is 0.05. So we're going to go to our sheet metal defaults, click the pencil to edit, and change our thickness to 0.05. Save and close, and cancel. Our first face then gets applied, and we have 1.5" flange on the back, but we notice that we've got a taper here of 3 degrees on the sides. So we're going to go ahead and do this in two different steps. We're going to create a flange off of our 3 edges of 1.5. And then we're going to create a sketch on the front face of this flange, drawing a line from here down at an angle of 3. And my distance doesn't matter as long as it's outside. So I'm just going to draw kind of a funky looking triangle shape. The only thing that matters is 3 degrees, the start point, and that this comes out past the edge of my solid. The rest of this is just required geometry to close up the shape of our cut profile. So finish sketch, we're going to go ahead and extrude that as a cut through all. And there is our taper. And the last thing we need to put on here is this 1/4" radius with a fillet. Go to 3D model, click fillet, 1/4" radius, and select our, try this for a third time, select our edges, there we go, and pick our 2 edges, and we are good to go. Now, we'll go ahead and save this paper tray. And what we're going to do is also, while we're at it, create a flat pattern, because we're going to need that. And we'll go back to our folded part, create a new standard IDW, edit our sheet to make it B size, and delete our title block, insert the ANSI A like we've been doing. Base view is going to be our front. This will give us our top. We can see we're kind of running out of space, so let's make this down to a 1/3 scale. And our ISO, and I don't, yep, okay, so we have a side view also, so we'll go ahead and throw that in and hit OK. Now we can move our views to kind of clean things up. And we're going to place a base view of our flat pattern. So since this is a sheet metal part, we have our flat pattern option here. We're going to place that. Now, this view is on an angle. We're going to right click, rotate, and make that -3 degrees. The other way we could have done this is we could have clicked this edge as a vertical reference, but I wanted to show you that we can change it by a given angle also. And we're going to say OK. And if we compare that to our drawing here, everything looks good. The one thing that we typically do, everything looks really kind of thick here. We'll go to our Annotate tab and our Layers, and then Visible ANSI layer. We want to change the thickness of that to say maybe 3 thousandths, and that'll make everything look thinner lines. It makes it look a little bit better when you're working with thinner parts like sheet metal parts. And then all we would do is go ahead, add our view labels and our dimensions like we always do on an IDW. There's no difference between a sheet metal and a solid part that's not sheet metal. That's going to conclude this tutorial. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.